Today on the show, South African consumer inflation up 4.5% in May. Tanzania announces a 25% tax on hair extensions. Plus, Kenyan Parliament proposes nationalization of Kenya Airways. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us on Business Incorporated. I'm Chimezie Obi. We start off in South Africa as the headline inflation inched higher to 4.5% year-on-year in May from 4.4% in April. Data from Statistics South Africa shows that on a month-on-month basis, prices rose 0.3% from a 0.6% increase previously. Core inflation, which excludes the prices of food, non-alcoholic beverages, petrol and energy, was at 4.1% year-on-year versus a 4.1% increase in April, and was at 0.0% month-on-month compared to 0.3% increase last month. And to the market, in spite of the rise in inflation numbers in South Africa, the JSE index was in the positive zone at intraday, while other markets in Africa were mostly negative. The JSE index was up 0.63%. Egypt's EGX30 was down the most, shedding 0.22%, with the NSE index in Nigeria losing 0.04%. Kenya closed positive on Tuesday. And major Gulf markets were higher at intraday, mostly lifted by financial stocks amid rising oil prices, while Qatar was boosted by its blue chip shares. Qatar's index was up 0.84%, with lender Masraf Al Rayan surging 3.1% and Qatar International Islamic Bank jumping 6.1%. The Abu Dhabi index was up 1.27% as First Abu Dhabi Bank rose 0.7% and Emirates Telecommunications Group gained 1.1%. In Dubai, the index added 0.41%, helped by a 1.4% rise in Aramex. On the flip side, the Saudi index fell 0.28%. And in Europe, markets edged lower in the morning ahead of a much-anticipated U.S. Federal Reserve decision on interest rates. Trade talk is also on the radar. Let's bring in Daniel now to tell us more. Good afternoon, Daniel. Good afternoon, Daniel.
Yeah, hi, Jimmy. Good afternoon from Frankfurt, Germany's financial hub, where the blue chip index DAX cannot really decide in which direction to go today.
I can see that behind you. Anyway, well, trading in Asia has been rather successful today. Now, investors are getting again some hope that a solution in the trade conflict between the U.S. and China could be found. Why is this happening? And just wondering what investors in Europe make of this. Well, the DAX seem not to be behaving all right at the moment.
Yeah, Jimmy, let me tell you, I have a little issue hearing you at the moment. Let's hope that our technicians can fix that while I talk. Well, this ongoing trade conflict between the United States and China has been giving investors quite some headache, during the last weeks and months. I guess a topic that we have discussed multiple times. And now there is some hope, even though there was some very strong rhetoric from the U.S. president lately, that possibly a solution can be found during the upcoming G20 summit that's taking place by the end of the month in Osaka there in Japan. And we are hearing that the U.S. president will have an extended meeting there with his Chinese counterpart. And usually, and that's what we always see from Donald Trump, when he has the opportunity really to, to sit together face to face, then usually something good can also happen. Let's see if this is really going to be the case. It would be a huge relief, certainly for investors, because this entire topic, as I mentioned, has been overshadowing the trading here for such a long time, with big losses, of course, at exchanges around Europe. So yeah, let's see if this is going to work. And now I'm curious if I can hear you for our next question. Otherwise, I will continue talking. Let's see if my technician was able to fix something. Panja, ist da Ton oder was ist da? Okay, so I guess I'll continue talking right now, and I will talk a little bit also about the decision of the Federal Reserve that will be expected by the end of the trading day at 6 p.m. today. There will be a press conference there of the head of the Federal Reserve, and we were talking about that already yesterday. The European Central Bank here in Frankfurt, Mario Draghi, was there at a meeting in Portugal yesterday, and he was giving investors the hope and the outlook that they can possibly expect more cheap money that will be coming from the European Central Bank, and that was giving investors quite some excitement. And we do not believe that the same will be announced today from the Fed. We do believe that interest rates and that the monetary policy of the Fed, at least for the moment, will remain unchanged. But yes, there is the outlook, and also when you take a look at Wall Street last night, investors were reacting also there are very positive that this could also change in the United States, and that we could see possibly lower interest rates there happening very soon as well. This would be something the US President Donald Trump would very much appreciate. He has been asking for quite some time and has been also pressuring the Fed for quite some time for lower interest rates, something what a US president normally is not supposed to do. Yeah, let me also tell you a little bit. I guess we still were not able to fix this technical issue that we're having here at the moment about the inflation rate in the United Kingdom. That's also something very interesting, and that's something what investors here are also monitoring, because we have to remember that even though we are kind of in this break right now, the United Kingdom is still set to leave the bloc by the end of October. And when you take a look at the latest inflation numbers that we are getting, this is actually quite a surprise, because the inflation in the United Kingdom went down to a level of 2%. The last time we got the numbers in April, they were at a level of 2.1%. There are a couple of reasons behind this, and this is quite surprising when we have to remember that you know, the United Kingdom is in this period of lots of uncertainty. They have right now the lowest unemployment figures since 44 years, and this is very surprising because, as I said, lots of uncertainty. What is going to happen with Brexit? Is there going to be Brexit at the end? Who is going to be the next prime minister? So yeah, lots of uncertainty, and with that I'm sending it back to you in Lagos. I would love to chat a little bit more with you, but I just can't hear you right now. Back to you.
Well, it's okay. Well, sometimes those technical issues do occur. Thank you for your time, Daniel. Well, just as Daniel said, in the UK, economic data published today showed the country's inflation rate cooled a bit in May, with cost pressure in factories falling to a 3-year low. Let's talk to my colleague there in our London studio, Simon, for more. Hello, Simon. Good afternoon.